Women send mixed signals all the time. One moment, she seems interested. The next, she's distant. She laughs at your jokes, makes eye contact, but when you make a move, she pulls back. Frustrating, right? But here's what most men don't realize. This isn't just a game for her amusement. Women play hard to get for deep psychological reasons. It's wired into their nature, shaped by evolution, social conditioning, and their own emotional needs. The Stoics understood that human behavior is rarely as simple as it seems. They mastered the art of reading beyond the surface, controlling their own emotions and acting with unwavering confidence. By the end of this video, you'll understand why women play hard to get and, more importantly, how to respond in a way that increases attraction instead of killing it. Watch until the very end because every second of this will change the way you see female psychology forever. And if you've ever had a woman pull away when you thought things were going great, let me know your story in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. The real reasons women play hard to get. Women don't make things difficult just for fun. There's always a deeper reason behind their actions. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, every move she makes is part of a strategy designed to test the men pursuing her. It's not about manipulation, it's about ensuring that she chooses the right man. Attraction is a test, and most men fail it because they react emotionally instead of staying grounded. They become frustrated, confused, or impatient. They take it personally when a woman doesn't make things easy. But the truth is, the way she behaves has little to do with playing games and everything to do with instinct, psychology, and self-protection. Think about it, if every woman instantly gave her attention and affection to any man who showed interest, she would risk choosing someone unworthy of her time. She would also diminish her value. People tend to appreciate what they have to work for, and relationships are no different. When a woman plays hard to get, it's not necessarily because she enjoys the process of making you struggle. It's because she wants to see how you respond under pressure. Will you get impatient and give up? Will you become desperate and overcompensate? Or will you remain composed, confident, and in control of your emotions? This is where most men go wrong. They assume that if a woman truly likes them, she should make things easy. But attraction doesn't work that way. Women are biologically wired to test for strength, patience, and emotional control. It's not something they consciously plan, it's a natural instinct. Even the most independent, modern woman still feels a pull toward a man who is steady, grounded, and unfazed by obstacles. She wants to know that you are someone who can handle challenges, someone who won't crumble when things get difficult. If a small delay or a bit of resistance is enough to make you lose your cool, how will you handle real challenges in a relationship? A woman isn't necessarily testing you just to play games. She's doing it because she needs to see who you really are. Any man can put on an act in the beginning, pretending to be confident, strong, and in control. But when she introduces a little resistance, delayed responses, slight disinterest, or making you work a little harder, your true nature is revealed. If you panic, become reactive, or demand instant validation, you fail the test. But if you stay steady, unshaken, and self-assured, you prove that you're not just another man seeking her approval, you're a man who knows his worth. This is where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism teaches us to detach from immediate emotional responses and see the bigger picture. Instead of reacting impulsively, chasing, getting frustrated, or seeking validation, a high-value man understands what is happening and adjusts accordingly. He doesn't get angry when a woman tests him. He doesn't complain about mixed signals or wonder why she isn't making things easier. He sees the pattern, recognizes the deeper reason behind it, and remains calm. Think about the kind of men women naturally respect. It's not the ones who try too hard to win them over. It's not the ones who beg for attention or get upset when things don't go their way. It's the men who remain steady in the face of uncertainty. The ones who know that attraction isn't just about being liked, it's about maintaining their frame, showing strength, and refusing to let temporary obstacles dictate their emotions. A woman wants to feel safe with the man she chooses, but safety isn't just about physical protection, it's about emotional stability. She needs to know that you are steady, that you won't be thrown off balance by minor obstacles, that you are a man who can lead, provide security, and remain composed under pressure. If you fail this test, she won't see you as a strong, reliable man. If you pass, you set yourself apart from the rest. The reality is, women are constantly being pursued by men who lack self-control. These men chase relentlessly, send needy texts, and overanalyze every interaction. This is why a woman has to filter out weak, emotionally volatile men, because she knows they won't be able to handle the deeper challenges of a relationship. She doesn't want a man who crumbles at the first sign of resistance. She wants a man who stays firm, remains centered, and doesn't let small tests affect his self-worth. The next time a woman plays hard to get, resist the urge to react emotionally. Instead of chasing, maintain your frame. Instead of overthinking, trust in your own value. She isn't playing games, she's looking for proof that you are the kind of man she can admire, respect, and ultimately choose. A man who doesn't need instant validation. A man who understands the power of patience, self-control, and emotional stability. A man who knows that real attraction isn't about convincing someone to like you, it's about proving, through your actions, that you're already worthy of her attention. Chapter 2. She's testing your interest. A woman wants to know if you're truly interested in her or if she's just another option in your life. She won't always say it outright, but her actions will reveal the test. Maybe she suddenly delays responding to your messages when she used to reply quickly. Perhaps she pulls back slightly, giving you less attention than before. She might even act distant, leaving you wondering what changed. The real question is, how do you react? Do you panic and start chasing her, bombarding her with messages, and over-explaining yourself? Do you become needy, seeking reassurance and validation? Or do you remain confident, steady, and unbothered, knowing that your value doesn't diminish just because she's taking a step back? This moment is crucial because it tells her everything she needs to know about you. Think about it, if a woman gives her attention away too easily, it loses value. Just like anything in life, scarcity creates desire. Women instinctively want to make sure the men pursuing them aren't just looking for a quick win. If a man is too eager, too available, or too easily thrown off balance, he can come across as desperate rather than desirable. But a man who stays steady, who doesn't get shaken by a little resistance, instantly becomes more attractive. This isn't about playing games, it's about proving that you're the kind of man who isn't easily rattled. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude calm confidence, men who don't let small setbacks shake their foundation. If she's testing your patience, don't see it as rejection. See it for what it is, a challenge. She wants to know if you can handle her at her most uncertain, if you're truly interested in her as a person, or if you'll fold at the first sign of resistance. But why do women test men like this? Because attraction is emotional, not logical. A woman doesn't sit down and consciously decide, I'm going to test his interest today. It's something that happens naturally. She's observing how you handle uncertainty. If she feels like she can predict every move you'll make, she starts losing interest. The moment she realizes you're completely dependent on her attention for your sense of self-worth, the attraction fades. Men who thrive in these situations are the ones who don't let a woman's actions dictate their confidence. They understand that patience is key. They recognize that attraction is about maintaining mystery, not revealing all their emotions at once. If she pulls back, it's not always because she's losing interest, it's because she wants to feel your strength. She wants to see if you'll remain calm, self-assured, and in control of your emotions. The best response? Maintain your frame. If she pulls back, don't immediately chase. Match her energy. If she slows down, you slow down too. If she takes a step back, you remain grounded. Let her come to you. Women are naturally drawn to men who have options, not because they flaunt them, but because they aren't afraid of losing one woman. This signals abundance, not desperation. When a woman sees that you don't crumble under pressure, she respects you more. She sees you as someone who has control over his emotions, someone who isn't desperate for approval. And that's when attraction deepens. She starts seeing you as a man who is truly valuable, not just another guy trying too hard to impress her. But if you fail the test, if you become reactive, needy, or impatient, you make it easy for her to dismiss you. She doesn't need to reject you outright because your actions show her that you're not the strong, self-assured man she's looking for. And once that impression is made, it's hard to change. A man who values himself understands that his worth isn't determined by how quickly a woman responds to him. He doesn't let small fluctuations in attention dictate his mood or confidence. He knows that patience is key, and that a woman testing his interest is just part of the process. She wants to feel desired, but she also wants to see if he's truly interested, not just in the chase, but in something real. So next time a woman pulls back, remember, she's watching how you react. If you get needy, you fail the test. If you remain steady, you become the kind of man she respects, desires, and ultimately chooses. She isn't just looking for any man, she's looking for a man who understands his value and refuses to let external factors dictate his confidence. And when you master this mindset, you naturally attract the kind of women who are worth your time. Chapter 3: High-value women are selective. A woman who truly values herself doesn't give access to just anyone. She knows her worth, and she's not easily impressed by shallow flattery or desperate pursuit. She's seen how most men operate, throwing out compliments too soon, chasing relentlessly, and putting her on a pedestal before even getting to know her. That kind of behavior doesn't excite her, it repels her. It signals low value, a lack of self-respect, and an eagerness to please that screams, "I'll take whatever I can get." A high-value woman doesn't just fall for words, she watches your actions. She observes how you handle yourself, how you react to her resistance, and whether you have the qualities of a man she wants in her life. The reality is, high-value women have options. They aren't desperate for attention, and they certainly don't waste time on men who don't meet their standards. If she's playing hard to get, it's not always because she's uninterested. In many cases, it's a way of filtering out the men who can't handle the challenge. She wants to see if you have the patience, confidence, and emotional strength to deal with a woman who knows her worth. She wants a man who understands that attraction isn't about instant gratification, it's about proving that you are a high-caliber person who doesn't fold at the first sign of resistance. Think about it from her perspective. If a man gets easily frustrated, starts sulking, or tries to rush the process the moment she doesn't give him instant validation, what does that say about him? It tells her he's not used to dealing with high-value women. It tells her he's accustomed to chasing after anyone who gives him attention, and when faced with a challenge, he lacks the patience to let things develop naturally. She's not just testing his patience, she's testing his entire mindset. Does he have the emotional strength to remain composed? Does he see himself as valuable enough to be pursued in return? Or is he just another man trying too hard to prove his worth? This is why men who succeed with high-value women don't get thrown off when things don't go their way immediately. They don't try to force attraction or seek constant reassurance. Instead, they exude a quiet confidence, an understanding that true attraction takes time, and a belief that they're just as much of a prize as she is. They don't see her selectiveness as a roadblock, they see it as an opportunity to show they belong in her world. They know that women respect men who hold themselves to high standards, men who don't chase mindlessly, but instead attract through their presence, ambition, and unshakable confidence. A high-value woman wants a man who can stand on his own, not one who crumbles under the pressure of her standards. She's not interested in someone who's simply looking for any relationship. She wants a man who consciously chooses her, just as she consciously chooses him. That's why patience and self-assurance are key. A man who understands this never feels the need to rush the process. He knows that the right woman will recognize his value, and he refuses to lower himself to the level of men who beg for attention. The more you respect yourself, the more attractive you become. A high-value woman notices when a man is confident enough to hold his own, when he isn't desperate for her validation, and when he doesn't let minor setbacks shake his confidence. She doesn't need a man who is needy or insecure. She needs a man who can match her strength, her ambition, and her vision for life. So when a woman plays hard to get, don't react emotionally. Don't chase harder, don't beg for attention, and don't try to convince her of your worth. Instead, be the man who naturally attracts her by embodying the traits she respects. When she senses that you are in control of yourself, that you won't crumble under pressure or seek validation like every other guy, her attraction for you skyrockets. She starts to see you as someone different, someone who understands his worth and isn't desperate for approval. And when you truly embody that mindset, you don't need to chase, she naturally comes to you. Chapter 4. She's testing your emotional strength. Women don't just want a man who appears strong on the outside, they want a man who possesses real, unwavering strength on the inside. This means mental and emotional resilience, the ability to stay composed under pressure, and the confidence to remain unaffected by external challenges. The way women test for this strength isn't always obvious. They won't come out and ask, "Are you emotionally solid?" Instead, they'll put you in situations where your reactions reveal everything they need to know. One of the most common tests is when she suddenly pulls back. Maybe she takes longer to reply, cancels plans last minute, or acts a little colder than usual. This isn't always a conscious move on her part, but it's an instinctive way to gauge your level of security. The real question is, what do you do when this happens? Do you stay calm, continue on with your life, and let her come back on her own terms? Or do you immediately start second-guessing yourself, overanalyzing her behavior, double-texting, or feeling the need to fix the situation? A man who lacks confidence will panic. He'll react emotionally, either by chasing harder or by withdrawing completely in frustration. He might start bombarding her with messages, demanding answers, or acting passive-aggressive to get a reaction. He becomes visibly affected by her shift in behavior, which instantly signals weakness. This is exactly what turns women off. They don't want a man who crumbles under uncertainty. They want a man who stands firm regardless of external circumstances. On the other hand, a truly attractive man doesn't flinch when a woman tests him. He doesn't start chasing or begging for reassurance. He simply carries on as usual, knowing that if she's genuinely interested, she'll come back. His confidence isn't dependent on her attention, and that's exactly what makes him so magnetic. A woman respects and desires a man who doesn't let her momentary shifts in mood affect his self-worth. These tests aren't about playing games or being manipulative. They're about revealing your true nature. Women need to know they're with a man who can handle pressure, who doesn't break down at the first sign of difficulty, and who remains grounded no matter what. When she sees that her little tests don't shake you, her respect and attraction for you grow exponentially. She realizes you're different from the average man who gets rattled at the slightest sign of resistance. The key is to recognize these moments for what they are, opportunities to demonstrate your strength. Instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back, relax, and continue living your life with purpose. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games in return. It's about showing that you are so centered in your own confidence that no external situation can throw you off balance. When you embody this level of composure, you become the kind of man women can't help but be drawn to. Chapter 5: How to tell if she's actually interested. Women play hard to get, but they always leave clues. Even when they act distant or reserved, their true interest seeps through in subtle ways. The key is knowing what to look for so you can distinguish between a woman who is genuinely into you and one who is just wasting your time. Most men get frustrated when women send mixed signals, but the truth is, those signals aren't as mixed as they seem if you pay attention. When a woman likes you, she may not always verbalize it directly, but her actions, energy, and subconscious behaviors will consistently reveal the truth. One of the clearest indicators of real interest is her effort to stay connected, even in small ways. She might not always be direct, but if she's liking your posts, replying to your stories, or engaging with you in little ways, she's keeping the line open. Women who don't care about you simply don't make these small efforts. A woman who wants nothing to do with you will go completely silent. She won't engage, she won't acknowledge you, and she won't give you any openings. But if she's maintaining some level of interaction, even sporadically, she wants to stay on your radar. Pay attention to patterns. Does she respond consistently? Does she initiate contact occasionally? If the answer is yes, she is interested, even if she's not making grand gestures. Another sign of interest is when she pulls away but eventually comes back. If she were completely disinterested, she would disappear for good. Women who are unsure, testing you, or trying to build tension will sometimes create space, but they won't vanish entirely. They might take a step back to see how you handle it, but they will always return in some form. This is where most men make the mistake of reacting emotionally, either by chasing harder or giving up too soon. The smart move is to remain unfazed. When she comes back, acknowledge it, but don't reward the distance with neediness. Show her that you're confident enough not to panic when she pulls away. Women respect men who maintain composure rather than acting reactive or needy. Paying attention to the details she remembers is another way to gauge her level of interest. If she recalls little things you mentioned in passing, your favorite drink, a story about your childhood, a specific goal you shared, she's invested in you. Women don't remember things about men they don't care about. When she brings up something seemingly minor, it means she was listening and storing information about you. Inside jokes, shared moments, and tiny details matter because they show she sees you as more than just another guy. If she brings up something specific from a past conversation, especially something personal, it's a sign she values what you say and is emotionally engaged with you. Even if her words or actions seem distant, her body language can reveal the truth. A woman who maintains open body language, smiling, leaning in, making frequent eye contact, is drawn to you on a deeper level, even if she's playing it cool on the surface. She might try to act indifferent, but if her physical cues contradict her behavior, trust what her body is saying. Fidgeting, mirroring your movements, subtle touches, these unconscious behaviors give her away. A woman who isn't interested will be closed off, avoiding eye contact, turning away, or creating physical distance. But if she's keeping herself open to you, even subtly, her attraction is real. Watch how she reacts when you enter a room. Does she subtly straighten up or adjust her hair? Does she glance at you multiple times? These are indicators of subconscious attraction. Another overlooked sign is how she reacts when other women show interest in you. Even if she's playing hard to get, a woman who likes you will feel a slight sense of competition when she sees another woman in your orbit. She may not openly admit it, But if she suddenly becomes more engaged, initiates contact more often, or subtly asserts her presence when other women are around, she is trying to re-establish her place in your attention. This isn't about playing games, it's about realizing that attraction is fueled by social dynamics. A woman who has no interest in you won't care if other women are interested. But a woman who sees you as valuable will subtly mark her territory, even if she doesn't fully realize she's doing it. The way she reacts to your absence is just as telling as how she interacts with you. If you disappear for a while and she notices, she's paying attention. If she reaches out after you've been quiet, it means you were on her mind. Women don't check in on men they have no interest in. Even if she doesn't send a direct message, she might drop a like, reply to an old conversation, or find some excuse to re-engage. These small acts are her way of making sure you're still there without putting herself in a vulnerable position. Ultimately, if these signs are there, she wants you, but she also wants to see if you can handle the push and pull of attraction. Women are drawn to men who remain composed under pressure. If you recognize her signals but don't jump through hoops for validation, she will respect you even more. The worst thing you can do is react with insecurity or frustration. Instead, read the situation, respond with confidence, and let her come to you. When you learn to decipher these signs correctly, you stop wasting time on women who aren't interested and start focusing on the ones who genuinely are. Women test not to be difficult, but to confirm whether you are the type of man who can handle the natural rhythm of attraction. A man who can stay steady, remain confident, and read between the lines is the man who will always have the upper hand in the game of attraction. Chapter 6. What to do about it. Now that you understand why she's playing hard to get, the next step is handling it correctly. Most men make the mistake of reacting emotionally, chasing harder, or getting frustrated, all of which only make things worse. The key is to approach the situation with a calm, strategic mindset, rooted in Stoic principles. A man who masters his emotions and remains in control of himself naturally commands respect and attraction. First and foremost, you must stay calm. No matter how unpredictable or confusing her behavior is, never let it affect your emotional state. Women are instinctively drawn to men who can remain composed under pressure. If you react with frustration, desperation, or impatience, she will sense weakness and her attraction will fade. Instead, maintain an air of quiet confidence. If she delays her responses, cancels plans, or acts distant, don't overanalyze it or let it throw you off. When you stay unaffected, she will start questioning herself rather than you. Another essential rule is to give her space. Many men make the mistake of trying to solve the situation by increasing their efforts, texting more, demanding clarity, or pushing for her attention. This only works against you. When a woman senses that a man is too available, she naturally values him less. Absence creates attraction. Let her wonder where you are, what you're doing, and why you're not chasing her. The more she has to think about you, the more she will feel drawn to you. If she's playing hard to get, your best response is to do the same, but with true detachment rather than forced manipulation. Maintaining high standards is another crucial aspect of handling these situations correctly. Women are attracted to men who know their worth and refuse to tolerate time-wasting games. If she's testing you in ways that feel manipulative or disrespectful, walk away with confidence. A high-value man doesn't beg for anyone's attention, he simply moves on. When you show that you're willing to walk away, you shift the power dynamic in your favor. She will either step up and meet your level, or she will lose the opportunity to be with you. Either way, you win. A subtle yet powerful tactic is to call it out in a confident and playful way. When a woman is playing hard to get, a man with self-assurance can acknowledge it without seeming needy or insecure. A well-timed joke like, "For someone who acts uninterested, you sure seem to notice a lot about me," flips the script and puts her on the defensive. This approach works because it calls out her behavior without making it a big deal. It keeps the interaction light while subtly asserting your own value. Women respect and are attracted to men who can handle their tests with charm and ease. Most importantly, focus on your own life. A man who has a strong sense of purpose, ambition, and direction is naturally attractive. When you are fully engaged in your goals, hobbies, and passions, you won't have time to obsess over her behavior. This makes you even more desirable because women want to be with men who have their own fulfilling lives. The more you invest in yourself, the less you need external validation. And paradoxically, this lack of neediness makes women want you even more. When you embrace these principles, you stop reacting to women's gains and start commanding respect effortlessly. You become the kind of man who is always in control of himself, his emotions, and his relationships. And when you master that, you never have to chase attraction again. Chapter 7: The Deadliest Mistakes That Kill Attraction. Most men fail in attraction not because they lack the right qualities, but because they let their emotions take control instead of acting strategically. Attraction isn't just about what you say or how you look, it's about the energy you bring into every interaction. The moment you start reacting emotionally rather than leading with confidence, the dynamic shifts and you unknowingly sabotage yourself. One of the most common pitfalls is overanalyzing every little detail, obsessing over her texts, reading too much into response times, and letting small things dictate your mood. When you do this, you give away your power, and she can sense it immediately. Instead of appearing confident and secure, you seem needy, uncertain, and overly attached to an outcome. Women are incredibly perceptive to this kind of energy, and nothing turns them off faster than a man who seems too invested in every minor interaction. Another deadly mistake is trying to beat her at the game by acting distant or playing mind games just to provoke a reaction. If your behavior is calculated to make her chase you, it backfires because it stems from insecurity rather than genuine confidence. Women are naturally drawn to men who are centered and self-assured, not those who need to manipulate the situation to feel in control. If you're pulling away just to see if she'll come after you, she'll recognize the game for what it is, and rather than making her want you more, it will just make her lose respect for you. Taking things personally is another major error that destroys attraction. If she seems unsure or hesitant, most of the time, it has more to do with her own emotions, past experiences, or personal issues than anything you did wrong. The moment you take her uncertainty as a reflection of your worth, you start spiraling into insecurity. You may become reactive, seeking validation, or pushing for reassurance, which only makes you seem less attractive. Women are drawn to men who remain solid and unmoved, regardless of external circumstances. If she senses that her behavior can shake you, she will subconsciously feel that you lack the emotional strength she craves in a man. Another major attraction killer is putting her on a pedestal. When a woman feels like she's the center of your world, it doesn't make her feel special, it makes her feel burdened. She wants to be with a man who has his own mission, his own drive, and his own sense of purpose. If you make her the priority above all else, she will start to see you as a man who has no greater direction in life. Women don't want to be worshipped, they want to be inspired. When you act like she's your ultimate prize, it makes her question your value. A high-value man doesn't chase approval. He expects the woman in his life to meet his standards just as much as he meets hers. Many men also confuse playing hard to get with genuine disinterest. If she never initiates, never puts in effort, and never seems excited to see you, she's not playing a game, she's just not that interested. Instead of wasting time trying to make her chase you, recognize when it's time to walk away. The men who are most successful with women aren't the ones who play endless games. They are the ones who know their worth and refuse to waste energy on someone who isn't fully invested. The key to maintaining attraction is to develop an unshakable frame. When a woman tests you, plays hard to get, or pulls away, the worst thing you can do is react emotionally. The moment you start questioning yourself, seeking validation, or becoming frustrated, you give her the power in the interaction. But when you respond with patience, self-respect, and quiet confidence, she will feel your strength on a deep level. She will be drawn to your composure, your sense of certainty, and the fact that you don't crumble under pressure. Attraction isn't something you can force, it's something that grows naturally when you hold your ground and refuse to be thrown off balance. When you handle her behavior with calm assurance, you become the kind of man who stands out from the rest. But if you react with insecurity, frustration, or desperation, she'll lose interest faster than you can recover, and once that attraction is gone, there's almost no way to get it back. Women test. That's their nature. But the men who thrive are the ones who understand these tests for what they are, opportunities to prove they are different. Don't chase. Don't overthink. Don't react emotionally. Instead, remain composed, stay focused on your own mission, and watch how quickly the power dynamic shifts in your favor. If this video opened your eyes, drop a comment below and let me know your experience with women playing hard to get. Have you handled it right? Have you made mistakes? Let's talk about it. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Stay strong. Stay focused. And I'll see you in the next one.